Welcome to GAD Academy. Today we'll be diving into the art of keyframe mastery using CapCut. This is the first video in a full course of mastering keyframes, and we'll be releasing the lessons in a series. By the end of this journey, you'll be able to create stunning animations and dynamic effects that will help you elevate your video editing skills. If that's what you want to learn, let's jump right in and get started. So for the first video or animation, we're going to do the moving car. I'm going to drop a link to all the assets in the description. So first we want to import, I have a folder. First I'm going to try to import the grid that we're going to use as the background for the video. So I think I have it here. Okay. So now that I've imported into my project, I also need to import, let me just import everything at once. So we need the car. Where are you? We need a car. All right. So there you go, I have it imported. So first thing I want to do is add my background to my timeline, and I will try to reduce the opacity so that it's like the background and it doesn't like prevent whatever will be in the foreground from being seen. So I want to go to blend, try to zoom this so you can see. I'll probably do that in post-production. So I'll reduce the opacity. You can reduce yours as much as you're comfortable with, but for me, I think I'll leave mine at 15 because this works fine for me. So back to my, I'm going to now import the car to my timeline, the start of the video. So there you go. So apparently the car has a background, so you would want to remove the background. Thankfully CapCut has auto remover and chroma key, but we're going to use auto remover here. So I'm going to click on auto remover to remove it. So it has processed and has removed it. So one more thing, I would need like a lane across here. So how you can do that is use your text. You can even do this before you move in your car or import your car. So first I'm going to select the default text. So when I do that, I will change, and I can use an underscore to create a line. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just need a lane. So now that I've done that, I'm going to try to move this down. I want it to complete my entire video. So I'm going to place it somewhere. That's why I like that I have grids so that I can work with it. But then I want the car to be coming from here, left to right, because we're trying to move the car from point A to point B. Let me reduce it a bit. I would flip it. So there is an icon here in CapCut where you can mirror, and when you mirror it, it just goes to the opposite direction like that along the x-axis. So yeah, I'm going to put the car here. This one is fairly easy, so easy. So we're going to, now that we have this selected, I would want to go and add my keyframe. So always take note of this always take note of this value here. So you can choose to do it on transform or you do it on position. So make sure that your play, this I don't know what to call it, but whatever this is, has to be at the beginning of the video. So you're going to select your keyframe here from the start of the video, and then you move it to the end, and then you're going to move the car from here to here, and you see how it slides smoothly. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do right now, let me try to keep my mic in position where I can. So I'm holding down shift and I'm holding my trackpad, mouse. I don't know what you guys may be using, maybe you're using a desktop. So I'm going to hold down shift because I want something smooth. I'm going to hold this and I will move it straight across the screen till I get to wherever I want it to stop. So you see what I've done. So you see that it has created keyframe. So always note this value. I think at the beginning we started with 531. I'm not sure, but always like note this value here. I'm not sure it's same. So I'm going to try to play it, and you notice how the car moves across the screen. So you see, super easy, very easy, straight to the point. You can just move from point A to point B with keyframes, very easy. So you could also choose to like increase the font size of the line, whichever way you want. You can increase or reduce it. It depends on how you like it. And you notice that I also added like a glow effect. So you can just scroll down here under this basic tab and make sure you check glow. Make sure it is ticked, all right? And that'll be all. Alright, so welcome back, guys. This is the second video in the series for episode 1 of our motion graphics keyframe mastery. So we want to create an airplane animation. It's going to be quite easy. Here we have in CapCut, no assets imported, everything just clean. So we want to import the assets that we need for this video. So like I said, you can go to the description to get these assets and even more for the future lessons. So I'm going to select what I need to. I'm just holding down control. I'm selecting my plane icon and my background. This is what I usually use for my background, this grid here. So I'm going to open it. I'm going to like select this for my background. If you've not watched the previous video, please go and watch it so that you understand everything we're trying to do here. So I want to make my background to be a little lighter so that I can see whatever is going on in the foreground. So I'm going to go to blend and reduce the opacity to like, usually I like to place it to like 15 to 20%, but placing whatever is comfortable for you. So for me, this video probably 19 or 17. I think I just go 17 because this works. Then I'm going to select the plane icon as an overlay. All right, I will reduce the size because we are scaling. The trick is the airplane is coming into the viewer's eye or coming into the viewer's view. So I want to make it a little less visible. So you see the trick we use. Enough talking. So I'm going to add the platform or line where the plane is going to land. So if you've watched the previous video, you probably know what to do. So yeah, I'm sure you're guessing it right. So I'm going to select my default text and I will make this an underscore, shift underscore, just for it to cover the screen. And I will pick it up, make it sure that it comes to the end of my video. And I like the platform to just be here. Here is perfect. Let me move this up a bit so that by the time I'm scaling, it's quite easy for me. I'll still bring it down a bit because of the scaling that I'm going to do. So yeah, we assume that the plane is far and we have our playhead here. So like I said in previous video, you can use keyframes to do magic. So here I have my playhead and I want to add a keyframe. So you can just use transform or scale, but let's just select transform in this case for playhead. And I'm going to move the playhead to the end. All right. I move the playhead to the end, and I'm going to go and select this object that I'm trying to scale into the screen. Okay. And I'm going to go to where my scale is, just bring it to 100% and move it to whatever, because what keyframe does is whatever you're doing to that particular object, it's going to record that movement and help you play back. All right. I don't know if that makes sense, but the more you practice, the more you see what I'm saying. So now we have the plane. So I'm going to try to scale it to 100%. Okay, I think this is fine. Then I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to pick it and bring it down to the platform. Oops, I don't want this to go bad. I think this is perfect. Great. So now with our keyframes, you notice that, let's select this so you see what happened here. So you notice that a lot of things have changed. If I move this playhead, you see how it goes in reverse. Or I move it further, you see how it zooms back in and takes the platform. Now keyframes are to help you record that movement you made to that object. In this case, the object is the plane. So let's play from the start so you see what I'm trying to say. You see that it's quite easy. So with keyframes, you can do a lot. So the more you follow this series, the more you're going to learn a lot about keyframes and how you can perform magic in video editing. So I'm going to play this so you see what I'm trying to say. Great. So you see how the plane is coming into and then it lands on the platform. Nice. Don't you like it? And you can do it within 5 minutes or less, and that's amazing. So you can just add
your sound effect, whatever you want to do. Like me, I added sound effect. I made it look realistic. So these are things that you can use to create very engaging lessons and videos. If you're a YouTuber or you are a presenter, whatever it is, you come in handy. So I'll see you in my next video. Alright, so welcome back, guys. Welcome to the last video in episode 1. If you watch the first and second video in episode 1, you are amazing. If you practice along, you are even more amazing. So for this last one, we're going to be creating the sunrise to sunset animation using keyframes. So if you've not watched the previous videos, please, I'll leave the link in the description as well as on the screen to just click go back so that you can learn the basics. Now we are going to get to work. The first thing, like we always do, is to import all our assets. So I'm going to go straight on to import my assets. So here in my keyframe folder, I want to import the village that I'll be using. I think it's the Auburn City. I already have it here. I'm holding control. And I also need my sunlight video. So I'm going to click on open and I have it imported. Remember that we need our background. So let's not forget that too. Our grid. Yep. So I'm going to select that. So this will be our background. Select it, put it. Yeah. Next thing you want to do, like we did in the video, you want to reduce the opacity. Let's go back. Select this. We want to go to blend. Reduce the opacity so that you see whatever is happening in the foreground. Usually, you know where I leave it at 15 to 20%. Select whatever is suitable for you. I like it at this point. So next thing I want to do is put this as an overlay. Just drag and drop. Very easy. And then I want to zoom it a bit and add a platform. You know how to add a platform. If you watch the previous video, you just need to select your default text and you want to change this to an underscore so it becomes like a line. Yeah, keep it at that. Yeah, it covers my screen, so make sure it comes to the end of your video and then bring it to where you want it to be. You can increase the font size. You're not limited here. So yeah, you can increase the font size of the line if you want to. So I might want to increase mine a bit. I think this is fine. Okay. I think this is perfect. So yeah, the last asset I want to import is the sun. Then you can just so you want everything to be on the same page or the same lane, you can just come here and select this and tap W just to trim it, or you select this icon here to trim it to the right. So I'm just going to tap W on my keyboard and I've trimmed it to wherever the playhead was. Let's do that again. So I've selected it and W and I've trimmed it to the end. All right, so I want to zoom this in because I want the sun to be smaller, but we don't want the to be too big either. So I'm going to reduce this. Just select and scale everything as it should. I will increase my font a bit just so that it matches the base as I want it to. Let me see. Okay, I think this is fine for me. I want to move it up a bit just so it's perfect. Great. So now we have the sun. Remember, you want to remove the background, right? So CapCut provides us all the tools that we need. So rather than just do auto removal because it will just automatically detect that, oh, this is the background, I need to remove it. The smarter way to do it is using your chroma key where you can select the color you want to remove and go ahead to remove it. So you can see the preview of how it's going to look. Select that, see that I removed the color already. You can zoom it in or down the way you want it to be. So we want the sun to move from across the screen, just like what we learned in the previous video. You already know what to do. So we have our playhead at the start. We select a keyframe. You can do that on transform or on position. In my case, I'll do this on transform. Then I move the playhead to the end. Sorry, that's my neighbor just talking in the background. So I'm moving it to the end. All right, and I'll try to select the object that I'm trying to move across the screen, which is the sun in this case, and I move it to the end of the screen. and then it's created another keyframe here if you can see it. And then when you play it, it just moves the sun in a straight line across the screen. All right, but we don't want that because we're trying to mimic sunset to, okay, sorry, I'm creating another keyframe mistakenly. So we want to mimic sunshine to sunset. So what I want to do is when it gets to this point, I want it to move up a bit, and then I can add my effects, and then it goes down. So but we're going to take it step by step. So I'm going to move the playhead to the middle of the video. So when I move it to the middle of the video, I'm going to select the sun and move it up a bit, and now it records that. So when I play it, it will go. So rather than it, so when it gets here, when it gets in the middle, it now goes down here. Well, as we have it, it's moving in a linear position. We want it to have a smooth curve animation. So you want to go to where the object is and select it. I'm right clicking and I'm going to select show variable speed animation. So you want to select Y, the Y. So I'm going to click on Y, and I will automatically see the curve and see how I can manipulate it. So I'm going to select the keyframe for this linear curve here, and then something pops up. So in this case, you want to click the auto curve. I click on the auto curve, and then you see the handles. You can move it whichever way you wish. In my own case, I want to move it, so I'm holding down shift because I want it to be smoother. I'll move the right handle a bit up, and I'll move the left handle a bit stretched out to the left a bit. Nice. Well, I'm very I want to have fun with this, so I just move this part to the top a bit, just very lightly, not too much, not too much, because it's recording everything. But let me see. Okay, nice. I think the curve is better, so you can manipulate it the way you want. You are creative. Just do exactly what you think will work for you. So I'm going to tap. I want to exit this per se. So, all right. So, sorry. Let me go back to the object and then just hide the variable animation. So great. So we have it exactly the way we want it to. And the last thing we want to add is the effect. We want the light to go dim. We want the light to, like, we're mimicking the sunshine. So usually the place is dark first. When the sun comes, it brightens up, and then when the sun goes, it dims back. So and we can do that using keyframes. So what you want to do is before you get to the middle of the video, just where the sun now begins to come into the village, we can add a keyframe. All right. So we want to select the village to like reduce the opacity to some point. So now that I'm here, I have my sun to this point. I can now go to where the opacity is for the village, and I'm going to add a keyframe here. I'm going to bring down the opacity to like 20%. Remember, it's recording everything you're doing, so be careful. So I brought it down to 20%. Then just when the sun comes into play and then the sun now moves to this point, I want it to shine. So I'll go back to my opacity and I bring it to, okay, let me still bring this further so that the sun gives it a shine. So I move it to the end. You notice how you added a keyframe here. So now that I move it to the end, it shines. But when it gets to the, whilst it's moving to the end of the video, I want it to go back dark. All right. So it's just the same thing. We'll now bring down the opacity again to 20 to return it as it was before the sun came. So I'm bringing it down. I think this is perfect. So you notice how it still adds a keyframe here. So when we play this, you are going to notice the effect. Smooth, nice, and clean. So the sun comes up, it shines, and while the sun goes down, it goes down. So there you have it. Great. Try it and let me know what you came up with. Manipulate it the way you want. You're creative. You can make stars come in the background. You can add other effects. In my own case, I added other effects. I played around with it. So there you have it. We've come to the end of episode 1 for Keyframe Mastery. Remember, if you want all the assets, go to the description join my digital hub, and in future lessons you'll still gain more understanding and you continue to grow and practice. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Yeah.